Joe here, founder of Danby Marketing. This video, I'm going to take you through how you can filter down company names to make them more engaging, more realistic as well through emails, basically meaning that you can avoid having to send company names like this in your cold emails and your cold LinkedIn as well, and then filter them down to something that looks like this. Way more manageable. Clearly, people can tell that you've written this email by hand, which in fact you haven't, you've automated it, but it's a way where you can make it look like you've actually written that email personalized to that specific person. As soon as somebody reads something like, I saw you with a founder at Home Delivery Network Limit, they're just going to immediately say, fuck this guy. So I'm going to be showing you how to clean down those names there. What I'm then also going to do is show you how you can clean your lead titles so that you can get them into categories, so that then when you move them over to Smart Lead, you can syntax your emails to send something really personalized to their specific function in the business. So both of these things are going to contribute to better replies with your emails, more personalized emails as well. So it's way better for your brand. People can actually see that you've put in that extra effort to give them an email that's personalized and specific to them. So I'm going to show you these two things now. So first thing we're going to do, I've already laid this out here, like the steps that you need to take. Obviously, I've already completed my list. I'm careful because I don't want to, budge into the email column too much. So basically, what I'm gonna start with doing is just make an assumption that right now you're in a position where you've got a list. You maybe got a list of companies like this, so you've exported them from Apollo, wherever you've got them from, right? You currently have a list of probably companies, and then you might have this company name for emails. If you don't have this, no worries. Just basically whatever similar column you have where it's just company names that look horrendous like this, capital letters, loads of words, everything like that. So first thing we'll do then is I'll show you how to, there's going to be 3 to 4 cleaning steps here. So the first one is going to be to do this function here, which is called proper clean G2. Not G2, that's just the name of the cell. But basically, we're going to be doing a proper clean function here. All of the formulas I'm going to drop below this video with all the different tags in them as well. So what's the first step, what does this function do, and then what the formula is. So that then you can just copy them and import them into your Google Sheet as well. So the first thing that we're going to do, let me just create another column here so I can show you exactly how this is going to work. So you're going to do this proper clean function here. So just copy this formula, create a column next to the company name column that you currently have right now. In the top row, just import that in there, and then basically just drag it all the way down. Oh, it should have come up with. So usually what happens is you'll get a function that says, do you want to quick fill all of the hang on, there we go, autofill. So yeah, then you'll be able to autofill this. So what that proper clean is doing there, it's basically just removing all the capital letters, condensing things down like that as well. So yeah, just because again, the second someone sees an all caps company name, they're just going to immediately write you off and not reply to you. So let me just clean up the font sizes here as well. Cool. So now that that's done, the second formula that you're going to want to do, in fact, I'm going to delete these as I go because obviously I've already created them here. So this is just the exact same function as what we just went through. So the second function we've then got is to then clean those names that we've just removed all the capitals from. We want to get rid of a load of different words that are basically not filler words, but say for example, if you were looking at a list of accountants, it might be like James and Co. Accountants Limited. What we want to do here is get rid of that Accountants Limited part, because obviously they're words that are just more about the industry that they operate in. They're not actually specific to the company name. So here you can see at the top, I've got this formula up here. So basically what this formula is doing is it's identifying the words in these company names. So here we've got Anson, Abbey Logistics Group. Logistics group there is something that we don't want to have when we're sending out cold email or cold LinkedIn. So what we can do is use this function here. Again, this will be dropped below the video, and then use this space here to just fill out all of the different words that you don't want to be included in the company names. So if I just show you like how this functionality will work here, I'll just copy this formula right here. And then if we were to slap that into, I've done the same thing again, hang on. And then if I just then, I'm just gonna, scroll, you should get a notification to like auto-fill it every time. But you can see here, look, straight away, using this formula, what that's done is it's removed stuff like and son, it's removed stuff like logistics group, removed stuff like delivery network limited. Obviously this is just home for now, but you can always just add, so I just change this to an abbreviation at the end after the last few couple steps. The goal of this is that the manual work in the back end of actually changing these company names is going to be an absolute minimum, right? So this just basically removes all of these different words here that we don't want to have in. So yeah, just literally just copy that formula, replace all of the words here with the words that you don't want to include in your company names. So let me just remove this column because obviously again I've already got it, which is here. Then the final one is, depending on your list, what you may have are some duplicate spaces within the company names. So what you can do is you can just use this short trim formula here. This will basically just remove any duplicate spaces from the list of company names. So after you've done that big, this big removing the words formula, just create another column to the right of that, and then just put in this function here, so the trim function. So if I just do trim, and then just select this column here, slap that in, and then you'll be able to auto-fill that, and then that will just remove any duplicate spaces that you have within these companies here. So then I'll just delete that one. And then finally we're going to get this, so that's after the trim. So with that you're all done, and then basically what you can do is then just filter through all of the, like there will be obviously this isn't going to be absolutely perfect bang on every single time. Like for example, I think there was one here where it just says home. Obviously the original company's Home Delivery Network Limited, whereas this filters it down to just home, but home is a little bit too simple and straightforward. So you can just have a little glance through these and just pick out a couple, like if there's anything that you want to change. The goal of this is that 98% of those company names are going to be filtered down. Like you can see here, look, instead of receiving an email that says as you're the founder at Cullinan Group Limited, it's going to be as you're the founder at Cullinan. It's so much better for cold email. It's going to make sure of two things. It's going to mean that your emails are going to get better replies, and that also it's going to be better for your branding and deliverability as well, because emails are just going to go through more often, especially with Smart Leads syntax features on the back end, which I'm going to show you how to use in a minute with the title cleaner that I'm going to show you. But doing these things are going to make for way better replies with your cold emails. Cool. So let's move on to the title cleaner now. So basically the purpose of this is, with Smart Leads syntax features, what you can do is put in place if-else conditions, where if there is a certain role, then you can say a certain thing to that person. So the use case here with this list that I have, like we've got recruitment managers for UK trucking companies here. So what I'm going to do is, because in recruitment, like the term recruitment, there's different roles that fall into that. You can have recruitment and acquisition. You could have development and training. There's different stages of that recruitment process, and what I want to be able to do for my client is to give put out emails to different personas within this list that I have here that are really personalized, so that it gets them better replies, and it also preserves their brand really well. It shows that the email has been written by a real person. So what we're going to do first is we're going to create a custom filter. Now, custom filter, I know that term probably sounds a little bit complex. What I'm going to do is put the custom filter at the bottom of this video as well, so that you guys can see it. The goal of it is to basically pick out keywords within these types. Like look at this straight away. Recruitment and develop, like it's too specific to be able to know what that person does. So what we're going to do is use a filter here to pick out keywords of all of these different roles, and then we're going to make a just like a general sort of assumption of based on those keywords of what these people do essentially. Let me just scroll back to here. So okay, this is the sheet that I've actually gone and cleaned them up. Is this the big list? How many we got? 163. Yeah, okay. So this is the clean list here. So I'm just going to go through it. You'll have to forgive me because this is kind of just an off the cusp video. So I might waffle a couple times, but I'm sure I can cut some of this out. Basically, the first thing to do is to click on the. So let me think. So click on the row here. Go to data. Go to clean up. Not clean up. Sorry. You'll see like a create filter option here. And then what's going to happen is you will then get a little filter like this. What you can then do is click on filter by condition, and then you want to go down, scroll to the bottom, and click custom formula is. And then with that, what you can then do is just input the formula that I've given you in this video. One important thing to note is that if I just open up just like a random cell here, then you'll see here, look, like the formula is currently set to the keywords that I want to do. So just make sure that whenever you do it, you just click on, so say if you were targeting, I don't know, training managers or whatever, and there was specific, areas of training. Maybe there was like driver training, store manager training or whatever. Like you could have, driver as a keyword, or you basically just find the keywords that are, related to a certain area of. So like recruitment managers, for me, there could be different kinds of recruitment managers. There's like the people who hire with that initial acquisition. There's then the people that deal with that, development of that role throughout the company, maybe like a probation period or something like that. So I want to filter down this list to the ones that just deal with that acquisition element. So in training, you might, like I said, have the ones that just deal with the driver training, in which case you'd put driver in here and, fill out some different words in here that could relate to driver training manager. You then might have like store in-store training or whatever it is. Just basically find a load of different words that are relevant to that specific role, that variation of that role that you want to target. So put this formula into your sheet. Let me just get rid of this. Yeah, cool. So yeah, put that formula into the filter here. And then what that will then do is it will then filter down all of the rows that match whatever search term you put in. So in this case, I filtered for the roles that are just related to that acquisition, that recruitment element. I don't want people in this specific filter that are relevant to like the development or the probation or anything that's like comes after that initial acquisition, right? So what you can then do after that is basically just highlight all of these rows. So I'm probably doing this a rubbish way, but just do like 1, 2, and then put in the last row, press copy on that, and then move that across to just a new spreadsheet. So if I were to do this here, I'll just do, put this in here. And then what I've done here is you can see I've then put in a title cleaned column here. So in that new sheet that you've just brought across, what I'd then recommend doing would be to add a column here to the right of the title and just put title cleaned. And then what you can do, because you've filtered this list down to the ones that just deal with that initial recruitment and acquisition phase, what you can then do, like I've done in this sheet, is just put in place a general title here. So I'll just put recruitment and talent acquisition manager. And I'm going to do another step with you in a minute where we can filter again by the seniority of that person to make it just hyper personalized, essentially. So yeah, I'd recommend putting a title cleaned in here. The way to then just basically, fill out all of those is to just go, how did I even do that? See, I've lost my train of thought now. So I would just put in this title here, and then just basically scroll that down, or you can just copy and paste it into every row if you have a big list. Because this is small, I'll just do this. So then yeah, that's then done. What I now want to do is filter back through these people. I'm just going to delete this sheet just because it's a direct duplicate. I'm going to filter back through these people now, and I want to filter by the ones that are manager level and the ones that are head level as well. So now what I'm going to do is show you how to create a filter so that we can filter these down by seniority. That means that in the title clean column here, we can either have recruitment and talent acquisition head or manager. What that is going to allow us to do is it's going to mean that we can send a personalized email dependent on the seniority level of this person. What I mean by that is, if they're a manager, they're likely not going to be the single person in charge of recruitment. You know, I'll just use the example that I have here. Whereas if they're a head or like a C-suite, they're likely to be the big dog, you know, the person in charge. So what we could do using Smartlead's syntax features is basically use this and go, okay, if they're a manager, I want to say something like, you know, as you're a person with a key role to do with recruitment in X company. If it's the head, if it's the big dog, we want to say something like, as you're the person who runs the, you know, like say something a bit more personalized to them because they're going to resonate with it more. With this, it's all about, you know, really connecting with people, understanding them, showing that we have written that email specifically to them, and this is going to allow us to do that. So let's stop waffling. Let's put in place a filter here. So what you'll do is you'll click on your seniority row here. This is something that Apollo will just give you whenever you export, or A-leads, whatever you're going to use. The seniority level. You then want to go to data up here, and then you'll see like create a filter up here, something like that. Obviously, I've already created that, and then you'll see this little filter column here. Just click on that, and then go filter by condition. Go text is exactly, and then manager. Yeah, do that, and then this will then filter down to all the managers. Obviously, right now I've already put manager in all of these, so that's fine. We can leave it as that. But if your role was something different, what I'd do is in the title clean column, I'd just make sure that you differentiated this somehow with the managers. Basically, I'm going to give you a bit more context when we do the heads now. So now all that I'd do is just go text does not contain manager and put that in, and then this is going to filter down to all of the heads. And then what we can do is change this to head, and then just drag that down to all the different roles here. So then we've got the head. So then we can clearly differentiate who's the head of recruitment, who is just the manager of recruitment, who just has a role within that kind of scope. So then that means in Smartlead, what we can now go and do is use the if-else variables to then go and write personalized emails dependent on what the role is that we've now cleaned up. This is something that we wouldn't have been able to do because obviously you've got all these different roles here. It would take you literally months to put in, you know, to go through and manually find every single role and write something personal to them. What we've done is we've just cleaned everything up to what their specific area of that recruitment is, so that we can send something really personalized to them, you know, dependent on whether they're in the acquisition, whether in the development and probation stage, or whatever the next role is. We can use this information to now send them something really, really personal to them. It's going to be so much better. We're going to get so many more replies. I hope that this video has been helpful. I may have missed something because, you know, I'm just getting into the content here. This is something that I've basically just taken the approach of going through my day-to-day flow and just creating videos on it and just showing you guys exactly what it is that we do with our list building process. So yeah, like I said, I hope this video has been helpful. The goal of this is to show you how to write better emails. If you want me to go through, so the next video that I'm going to post will be me going through Smartlead and setting up the syntax variables for this list. So if that video would help you, if you want to see exactly how I use this knowledge that I've shared with you today to then actually go and write more personalized emails using if-else conditions in Smartlead, then just hit the subscribe button below. Hit the bell notification as well. That's important because it just notifies you or some fuckery, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I hope this video has been useful to you. we're just getting into the content. It's very exciting for us. We want to give you guys as much fucking value as we possibly can. So yeah, subscribe. Love you all.